This week, Jose Bautista was inducted into the Blue Jays level of excellence, an accomplishment only 10 other men have had the privilege to be in. Well, 11 if you count Roberto Alomar, but let's not get into that. Okay, back to the topic. How important was Jose Bautista to the Toronto Blue Jays? And make sure to stick around to the end because I have a theory later on in the video about how Bautista still impacts the Blue Jays baseball today. When talking about Bautista, most people say he came out of nowhere because there were no signs of him breaking out. And looking back on it, I see where they are coming from. Bautista had bounced around team after team. In the 2004 season alone, he was taken from the Pirates in the Rule 5 draft by the Orioles, selected off waivers by the Rays, purchased by the Royals, then traded to the Mets, who went on to flip him again on the same day back to the Pirates. It seemed like no one wanted him. Wherever he went, he couldn't find a home. And that is until the Jays took a chance on him, trading a player to be named later for his services in 2008. He went on to play pretty much every day for the Jays, but didn't necessarily scream out to anyone until late into the 2009 season. After working with hitting coach Dwayne Murphy, Bautista started to pull the ball more, which led to a great stretch in September and October, hitting 10 of his 13 home runs in that span, and having a .257 average, .339 OBP, 606 slugging, and a .945 OPS. He then carried the momentum into the 2010 season, and everything took off. After previously posting career highs of 16 home runs, 63 RBIs, and a .753 OPS, Bautista thrashed these records, leading the league in home runs and total bases en route to a 4th place finish in the MVP voting. It was also the first time a Blue Jays player had ever hit 50 home runs in one season, and he hit that mark against the eventual Cy Young winner Felix Hernandez in front of the home fans. Not much more storybook than that. This also came at a perfect time. The Jays roster had no stars in it. Holiday had been traded and the team was in dire need of a new face for the franchise. And it was a big risk at the time, extending a guy without a huge track record, but the Jays rewarded Bautista with a 5-year, $65 million contract. Doesn't sound like much nowadays, heck that wouldn't even give you Andrew Benintendi, but back then, Bautista's extension was a lot of dough. From this, the pressure put on Bautista to back up his 2010 season was immense, but somehow he even managed to surpass all expectations. While he didn't top 50 home runs again, Bautista led the league in home runs, walks, slugging percentage, OPS, OPS plus, total bases, and intentional walks, en route to a 3rd place finish in the MVP voting and his 2nd straight All-Star and Silver Slugger award. Now, don't get me wrong, Verlander was unplayable that year, becoming only the 16th pitcher in American League history to obtain a Triple Crown. But I'm still surprised Bautista didn't win it, not even 2nd place either. No offense to Ellsbury, I mean I love the guy. Can't thank him enough for stealing all of that money from the Yankees. Alright, you get the point. Bautista silenced all the haters who said he couldn't replicate his newfound success, and continued his terror on the league throughout the next few years, proving to the Jays organization that even though he was entering his age 34 season in 2015, to continue to build something around him, and that's exactly what they did. Signing Michael Saunders, who was an All-Star in 2016, and Russell Martin, who at the time was the biggest free agent signing in Blue Jays history. Through trade, the club acquired the likes of Josh Donaldson, Marco Estrada, and Liam Hendricks. But there was one move in particular that ruled them all. The man, the myth, the legend, Munenori Kawasaki.
Monkeys never collapse. He's a big, very big, He's big, Kawa small. He's big, Kawa small. He's big, Kawa small. He's big.
Each one of these players played a vital role in the success the team found in 2015. And speaking of 2015, and being how this is a video about Bautista, yeah, you know where I'm going with this. Memories. I've been a Jays fan for quite some time now, and I will be one for the rest of my life. But I don't think I can ever relive an experience like that ever again. Sure, winning a World Series would give me goosebumps for about a month, but what Bautista did in those 30 seconds cemented his legacy in Toronto and solidified my love of the Blue Jays. And yes, I know, unfortunately we never got to experience a championship with Bautista, and his time with the club ended rather abruptly after 2017, but I will never remember those years he spent on the team as a failure, rather a catalyst for the new era of Toronto Blue Jays baseball. Because along with Donaldson and Encarnacion and all the other players on the team, they brought life back to a city that had not seen the postseason in over 20 years. and the fans responded quite incredibly. In 2016 and 2017, Toronto had the highest attendance in the American League, which is much unlike the early 2010s where they ranked towards the bottom. In the 2015 and 2016 postseason, the MLB World got to witness a packed Rogers Center cheering on their team, and players took note. Don't you remember hearing all the headlines stating the Jays couldn't lure MLB stars up north? But now the club has been able to sign George Springer, Hyun-Jin Ryu, and Chris Bassett in the past few off-seasons. Not to mention Barrio signed a 7-year extension to stay here too. Each one of these players have stated that the love the city brings for the team is a big reason as to why they signed. And most recently, Brandon Belt explained how Toronto was one of his favorite cities to visit when he was on the Giants. A lot of things have changed in Toronto the past few years, and maybe the reason they can sign these guys is because they're offering more than anyone else. But I like to think that the Jose Bautista-led teams showed the MLB world how much the city of Toronto truly loves their Blue Jays baseball. So what do you guys think? Do you agree that ever since the 2015 and 2016 postseason runs, more and more free agents have begun to sign with us? I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments below. I know this video touched on a lot of topics, but I hope you enjoyed. Bautista made me a Blue Jays fan 13 years ago, and I had a lot of fun making this about my favorite player. I'm even happier that he's joining the level of excellence, even though we kind of already knew it was coming, seeing how he ranked towards the top in literally every offensive category for the Jays. Okay, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe. Only a small percentage of people watching are actually subscribed, and it helps me out a lot. Plus, you're definitely going to want to be kept in the loop with baseball season fast approaching. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.